that has allowed us to do is really have access to just a tremendous ocean of data, of information, of intelligence about really the situation that families and institutions are in, where there are bottlenecks, where there are challenges, where there's opportunities for success. And we realized 6, 7 years ago that this is way too much data for us to really leverage and make sense of on our own. And so the engagement of organizations like yours has been very valuable, very important for us and for our constituents. Each year we've tried to create a unique theme, a unique concept that really will help bring together and focus the conversation in a meaningful way. This year we have really, well, for the first time, had a partner in this event, which I'm very, very happy about. Irv Katz from the National Human Services Assembly will tell us more about their organization here in a moment. But it really made sense for us to connect the dots and really include the youth development world in this conversation, because we all know, whether we're educators, whether we are in policy, in advocacy, in research, that there is rarely a silver bullet for success. There's rarely one concept that is critical. It's a holistic view. It is really how you surround the child, how you surround the student and family that really allows for success or not. And so we'll be addressing kind of the issue of student success, achievement, education, and in the whole life in a number of unique ways today. So we're really looking forward to that. The focus of each of the session really is around identifying common elements of success, where we've seen programs. What are those aspects of programs, of whether it's curriculums, extracurricular activities, youth-serving agencies, what needs to be there in order to make the greatest opportunity for success, and how can we replicate those? How can we be sure that we install those aspects, those concepts, in as many places as we can? And so that's really the goal, the focus of the day. I want to quickly share with you a little bit about NRCCUA and about the My College Options program, for those of you who may not be terribly familiar with us. The program that we began about 8 years ago or so, our cooperative research program, has allowed us really to begin to leverage and make sense out of that ocean of data and add to it in a really meaningful way. We have gone out and connected with professional associations, student organizations, community-based organizations to conduct additional large-scale research that is often cost-prohibitive or logistically prohibitive on behalf of the organizations themselves. And these partnerships, these relationships, many of which you'll see highlighted today, have really allowed us to unlock opportunities for success for students in a very meaningful way. The program really begins with the NRCCUA team capturing and identifying the needs, the knowledge needs, if you will, of organizations, groups of students, groups of educators, in a unique way that has proven very insightful, both for us and as well as for the organization. It's amazing how often we hear that, really forcing the right minds, the right leadership of an organization together to just answer some simple questions. What are our objectives? And what do we need to know in order to accomplish them from a research perspective? Really defining it in that kind of a way has been critically important and valuable. The results of that are custom registration and research campaigns that we push out, that we send out, distribute through the classrooms, through high schools around the country. This allows us to have engagement, access, information about students from about 95% of every high school in the country. About 70% of every high school student in the country will register for My College Options by the time they leave high school. So we have a tremendous amount of participation and really an unparalleled access to really, having our fingers on the pulse of what our nation's youth are planning for, preparing for, what their hopes and dreams are. It creates just like I said, an ocean of knowledge. The reporting back to the organizations, we have always tried to improve. Really, one of the original missions of this event was to discuss not only what we know, and what we need to know, but how to tell the story. What's the best way to package and to visualize data and knowledge in a way that it becomes useful? And we have really grown significantly in our ability to do that, thanks to a lot of you guys in this room today. Many of the organizations that we work with, you can see here, again, professional associations, educator associations, student organizations, really any organization that has a large-scale access to students and to educators in a meaningful way, we can connect with and really unlock that potential of research. And briefly, just so you all know, really why we are in this in the first place is for students and families, for us to provide the right tools, the right information and resources to them on a daily basis and really in an active way. We all know, especially in this room, that you can find answers to just about any question that you might have as it relates to your education or the options that are available to you out there on the internet. Internet's a great thing. But what we know is that students, families often don't know what questions to ask. And so the data, the information that we collect, that we use to build the profile, the needs of the student that come from a lot of the programs, our cooperative programs with you, allow us to put the answers in front of students at the right time as they move through the process. And we can't do any of that in nearly as meaningful of a way without the engagement and relationships that we have with you all. So again, just at a high level, about 60,000 educators volunteer their time to help us collect this information, do this research, engage these students every year. Some of these numbers I mentioned, most colleges in the country work with us to engage students and really to build their future as an institution. So we've been very, very lucky to have the engagement that we have. Now, I mentioned earlier our co-sponsor, and I'm going to invite Irv to step up to tell us a little something about the organization. And again, we're very pleased to have them here. The perspective that organization and its membership brings to us is invaluable. So, Irv, take it away. Thank you. And you just have to give us one click.
Okay, great. The National Collaboration for Youth is an association of about 50 of the leading national nonprofit human service organizations. And I think we have a bunch of our members in the room. Would you raise your hands? Everybody in the education world, these are great people to work with. They work collectively with about 40 million children a year. So there's a lot of engagement there. The Collab is a part of the National Human Services Assembly, which is kind of the trade group, if you will, for the nonprofit human services industry. But I have to say, I'm really excited to be here today. This is really kind of a realization of a dream. We've talked for many years about the silos and the fact that there is a youth development world and there's an education world and there's a health world, but they're all children across all of those entities, and child welfare and juvenile justice and so forth. And in the debate about education reform and academic achievement, we go to schools. We focus on schools. Well, children learn everywhere they are. They learn in their religious school programs and in their youth groups. They learn in their neighborhood. They learn from their parents and their grandparents. They learn in these youth programs. Sometimes, in many cases, youth spend more time in after-school and child care programs than they do in school. And we have yet to discuss aligning the objectives. And so this is an exciting first step to align the research, to know about the research that's going on in the youth development field. Just yesterday, we had a meeting of the research directors of our member organizations. There were about 15 or 20 research directors there, just sharing knowledge, this on a kind of a smaller scale and within a field. And we planned it next to this conference so that we could really come away armed with more knowledge about what our fabulous speakers are going to share with us, but also just share across these two big fields, or even more, because some of you are from associations and industries that really support college access. It is all about, as our friends at the Forum for Youth Investment put it, ensuring that every child is ready for college, work, and life, turning around the statistics so it's really the 99% become good citizens, make it to college or post-secondary education by the time they reach their majority. It is about, we think about youth development this way, through all these words. It's not just education, it's not just after school, it's all of this. I know you can't read all of that, but it's all of those pieces of readiness. It's about getting a youth ready for work, to have personal effectiveness, to have the knowledge he needs and she needs to get into college or post-secondary education. It's all of it. It's all of it. And the way that we're designed as industries and as profession really tend to look at our particular niches. You know, I think of some of the wonderful agencies in our group that are about character development, which is really great, but that doesn't happen in a vacuum. Character development happens everywhere. Education happens everywhere. It is all about readiness. And we want to be, and are, the pipeline for getting more low-income kids into post-secondary education. So the vast majority of them are in post-secondary education of some sort, so that they really can be competitive, and those who have the opportunity to move beyond their life situations can do so. So, you know, a few years ago, a guy named Ed Duty, sitting in the back row over here, came to us and said, "You've got the kids. We're trying to get more kids to have college access, and we're in different fields. How do we work together?" And I think I was slow on the uptake, but Ed was very, very persistent, introduced us to Don Muntz and Ryan Muntz and all the people at My College Options, came to speak to several of the groups of the National Collaboration for Youth, and some partnerships really began to develop to you know, really culminating in this partnership. I hope it's the beginning of a partnership between NRCCUA and the National Collaboration for Youth, but also between people in this room who, like, maybe didn't know someone who's doing some education research and they're in the human service field, or vice versa. There's a great opportunity for partnerships. I am delighted to be here and to join in welcoming you to this Education and Youth Development Summit. Thanks.
So briefly, just going to take you through the day so you know what to expect. The agenda of the day, arguably the most important parts of it are the breaks. The opportunity for you to stand up, walk around, of course, you know, get some more coffee, but really interact with each other, meet someone new, find a new idea. But really the narrative of the day takes us through kind of in a broad to granular kind of path, opening with a phenomenal speaker who we're excited to have with us, focusing on the importance of positive youth development in achieving education, college success. Then discussing in a relatively specific way how to understand, measure, collaborate around best practices in STEM, career encouragement, really connecting students with future opportunities. Common elements of success in youth development programs. We have a couple great panels really to focus on kind of that whole student aspect. which, again, we're very excited about. Another speaker at the end of the day on the role of community-based organizations and the impact and really, that, again, those common elements of success. And a great wrap-up at the end of the day that really should help connect the dots and create for you a sense of, well, of course, connection, but ultimately how to tie it together in a way that lets you go back to your office, back to your life, to your organization with hopefully, whether it's a renewed sense of passion, but at best, really new ideas, new practices, new concepts to integrate into what you do to help achieve your mission in a more powerful way. So with that, we're going to start with our first break. You can take a few minutes to get up, grab some more coffee, interact, and we'll get rolling here in a moment.